How we doing this Saturday night? Video number 5. The reason why I say video number 5, all the other ones I've said something or got off track and deleted, and there it is. Now, the other day, I was on Amazon, and I got me a camera bag. Nothing fancy, nothing major, just a small camera bag, as you can see. But in my past videos, I've said I walked out the door and I forgot my camera, or I had the camera in the blazer, got out of the blazer and forgot it. Now with something like this, there's no excuse in why I can't find my camera, or I overlook it, or I just forget about it, because it'll be in a bag. Now, they did have a camouflage bag. I thought it was kind of cool, but I just went with black because, you know, it's like Johnny Cash. It's a man in black. But yeah, I have this now, so that way in the springtime, I even got my little strap here. I can put it on my shoulder. I can loosen up even more, and I can stick it around my neck with even being longer, where I can leave it like that. I can walk in the woods just like this with my camera around my neck, and you know, do whatever. But yeah, springtime videos, I won't have an excuse not to make a video because it's all gonna be right there. Now, I call this the God Stick, and the reason why I call it the God Stick is look at that bubbled lens. That thing is magnified like hell. Look at that LED inside there. That thing is huge. Now I could turn this thing on and blind the piss out of you for a few seconds. Probably trip my camera in the process. Now this is on like flood beam. Yeah, see how much brighter that thing is? That's bright, and that's dim, and that's off. I mean, this thing is bright, massively bright. Now I'm going to use this for before springtime, when I'm outside and it's dark and I want to see something or find something. I got this. And then in the springtime, I can use this for coming out of the woods after, you know, it gets dark about 6 or 7, you know, maybe 8 o'clock. It's kind of twilightish. It's, you know, it's kind of still kind of dark a little bit. I can use it for that. And then in the springtime, like about June, July, I can use this for frog gigging. Because I can turn this nozzle head this way. So instead of being straight like flood beam, now it's a straight beam. And I haven't tested the range of this, but I can pretty much tell you it's going to be a long damn range. This thing is super bright. It takes 12 AA batteries. And yeah, this thing is probably about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. So this is, you know, it's nothing to sneeze at. You know, even though it's made of aluminum, it's evidently it's heavy duty. You know, you can just how the balance part of it is and everything else. I would love to have this on one of my rifles, but I tell you what, having this on one of the rifles, man, you'd be like, right there trying to pick the thing up, because it'd just be so much extra weight on it. But I tell you what, you put one of these on your rifles going out in the woods, you won't have a problem finding what you're wanting to point your hairs at or your iron sights at. It wouldn't be a problem at all. Now, everything in the woods will see you, who you are, where you are, but, you know, if that's what you need, that's what you need. But yeah, there's so many changes I'm doing in my yard. I've already decided on the east side of my house where I was going to put these extra blackberries, everything else, I'm not going to put them there. Just going to put some elderberry plants, extra plants over there, so that way I can have more abundance of elderberry. And then my blackberries I'm going to stick on the western side of my yard, which is by the driveway and the front fence and everything else. And I'll have them over there, and other stuff over here. And of course I got my peach trees in the front yard, and a couple of blueberry plants, and you know, my cherry trees in the front yard that the deers ate up. And hopefully this year they don't eat them up like they did last year, because if they do, I'm either going to have to dig them up and put them somewhere else, or just dig them up and get rid of them, because yeah, it's a pain in the ass. You know, when you have a 7.5 foot tall cherry tree and you come out the next day and it's a 4.5 foot tall because the deer ate the cherry tree. Yeah, it's pretty aggravating. I've thought about doing a few things, but the game wardens would not like my ass if I did. But on the same note, if you have deer that are eating your plants and stuff as a farmer, you can shoot them out of season as long as you have proof that they're tearing up your crop and everything else. Now, I will have to check on that to find out if that applies for me or not, because if it is factual and they are tearing up my trees, stuff like that, but eating them down. And if I do find out that I can actually take evasive action to where it'll keep them from eating up my harvesting type material type plants, yeah, my ass will sit on the top of the rooftop with a rifle and wait for them, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll pop me a deer if I can in my front yard. I won't think nothing twice about it. But I ain't gonna do. I won't go that route until I find out if it actually applies for me as a landowner versus a farmer, tearing up their crops and everything else. Because I know my great uncle at times has shot deer out of season because they were eating his crops that he had in the field. I do know that they've done it. Of course, he called it in and everything else, and everything was said and done. There was no issues. So, me being me, I'm gonna have to do some digging and following up and find out that applies for me or not as well. Because if it does, I'll have me a deer in the early spring and summer. Yeah. And I know a lot of you animal rights people are like, oh, that's just horrible. Well, it is what it is. You don't mind eating your hamburgers. And this comical because people are like, oh, it's that poor animal. You put it to the slaughterhouse, blah, 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 blah. Why can't you just go and get meat from the grocery store like everybody else does? Where do you think it comes from, dumbass? Some people are so intelligent, they're stupid. And my grandmother's told me that for years and years and years. You can be highly educated and can be completely stupid at the same time. And it's true. I've seen it many, many times. But my gardens are going to be bigger. I'm going to have more grow room. I'm still waiting on my boat across the street. One of the guys I know real well was supposed to come by Friday. No call, no show. And then late Friday night, he's like, well, come Saturday morning or early mid-afternoon, I'll come by there and I'll bring such and such with me and we'll get it from over there back into your yard, stuff like that. Well, I checked the phone this morning. He never called. I checked all of my messages on Facebook. Never messaged me. Never came to the house, evidently, because if he would have, I would have been awake at that time. So, it is what it is. I'm just going to have to find somebody else. I might, worst case scenario is I'll have to call somebody I don't want to call and say, hey man, I'll give you $50 if you go over there and grab the boat from over there and drag it over here for me. And that's worst case scenario. And or I can call a friend of mine, which I hate to ask him because he's busy 24/7. And it seems like he never has time for anything for himself, time-wise. And I hate to ask him, but if push comes to shove, I'll see what he'll say. But like I said, that's my very, very last resort. But Mike gave me the boat a few weeks ago. I broke my foot. I can't get over there. I just need help getting the boat from over there to my yard. It's maybe, from where it sits in his yard to my yard is probably 60 feet, if that. And if I can get it that part, that's all I need. You can just drag it, throw it in the yard, let it sit until I decide to move it. Because what's going to happen is with that boat, and I know a lot of you fishermen people out there are going to be, oh my God, why would you even do that? But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get the numbers on the boat. I'm going to go to, I guess I'll call the county courthouse or DMV or however you want to do it and say, hey look, I've acquired this boat from somebody else. There's no title on it. There's numbers on the side of the boat. What can I do to get a lost title or a title for this boat? And if they say basically my route is about useless, then step 2 is going to be I'm going to shave all the lettering off the side of the boat, all the tags of any sort whatsoever, all the numbers and everything else. And I'm going to say, well, I bought me a brand new boat and there's no title to it. What do I got to do to get a title for it? And if I still go the same route as before, then what I'm just going to do is say, okay, look, I'm going to get me a drill with a metal bit. and I'm going to drill me some pilot holes through the floor of it. I'm going to put up on some concrete blocks, and I'm going to have me a 14-foot, 5-foot wide, 2.5, 3-foot deep giant raised bed. And I'll turn that aluminum boat into a raised bed, because that thing will last for years and years and years and years. And then I'll just plant certain things on top of it, keep it off the ground, keep it watered like I do all my stuff all the other time. And hell, if nothing else, I'll make it a huge flower bed, if nothing else. And that's what I'll do. But I'm still waiting to get the boat from his yard to my yard. So it is what it is. Some of my friends, some of the people I'm friends with, I've asked and talked to. Yeah, I'll do it. So I haven't seen you, haven't heard from you, haven't said anything. Now Jeff on the other hand, lives in town, and Jeff even offered to do it. But Jeff is kind of limited on access and stuff like that. Because I told him, I said, you're going to need a chain to connect to something and drag it across, because, unless you're my size or bigger, it's going to take, even my size, it's going to take 2 people to drag that big ass behemoth from where it's at to there. Not saying Jeff's weak or anything, but he's a smaller frame kind of stature kind of person, and yeah, it'd be a challenge for him dragging that 14-foot thing across from there to here. Not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying it's going to be a challenge. And plus 2, he don't have anything connect to it and drag it with. So, and I even told, even when Jeff was talking about doing it, I told him, I said, don't, if you can't do it, don't worry about it. I can find somebody, hopefully. Knock on wood. But with all that saying and done, it's a waiting game right now. So, but yeah, there's so many things that I got to take care of and get started, get working on. I am looking at a greenhouse that's down the road. It's a pre-made type thing. I know he was asking about $600 for it about a year or so ago, and I'm assuming with all this stupid pandemic COVID crap going on, price has probably doubled or tripled, or it's gone up a few extra $100. And if it has, basically I'm just going to take my camera right here, and when I go out there looking at it, I'm just going to take pictures of the inside and kind of outside of it, everything else. And I'll have Mike, that used to live across the street that I'm getting the boat from, I'll message him on there and say, hey man, I need you to build me a structure X amount long, X amount size, X amount tall, make it to where I can put like a roofing type thing on it. I'll have him build me the frame, and I'll build my own greenhouse. Now, it won't probably be as nice looking and everything else as what the one down the road is, but it'll be bigger, and it'll be a lot cheaper. And that's what kills me. A lot of these people go out and they buy these little sheds down here, these places down here, for $3,000 and $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. You can build it for about half the price, because a friend of mine named Rob lives over in Barstown, went out one year and priced a shed, and the guy told me it's gonna be like $8,000 to $10,000 for this shed, and Rob's like, fuck you, there's no way in hell I'm spending $8,000 to $10,000. He built it for $1,500, and that thing is built like a house. It's solid. It's a tank. And it still stands. It's a beefcake. So, people are crazy. I understand, if you went out and hired somebody to build you a certain thing, it might cost about the same price-ish, or maybe around about the same figure for them. But there's no way. Half these storage sheds, like these little portable shed things you buy, they're made cheap. Cheap. And they last maybe 3 to 6 years, they start falling apart. So, no, hell with that. I'll build my own if push comes to shove. Well, actually, I won't build it. I'll have Mike do most of the work. I'll buy the materials, and I'll go that route because I understand people gotta make money, but there's a difference between making money and breaking your foot off in somebody's ass in the process. And I mean, I'm the same way. I mean, I make money on a lot of stuff I make. If you actually calculate the prices, what it costs me to make most of the stuff I make, it's it's kind of somewhere between $100 to $300. But after everything is said and done, I can double to triple the price what I can make off of it if I want to. Double my price, I don't feel bad. Tripling my price, I would feel kind of uneasy because I would feel that I'm taking advantage of somebody, and I'm not like that. I don't like taking advantage of anybody. Now, I used to make a joke all the time when I sold eggs. Price depends on your attitude when you get out of the vehicle. Now, I do that a lot even at the farmer's market. If you have kind of a shitty attitude, I'm gonna charge you full price. I won't bat an eye, think a second guess or anything. But if I can tell by your personality and how you talk to me, everything else, body language wise, I'll be like your best friend, cut you the best deal of anything you ever had. But if you come up to me acting like a New Jersey asshole, oh yeah, I'm gonna break my foot off in your ass and make you smile in the process when you're walking off. Oh yeah. But that's very, very few and far between I've ever done that to anybody. But I have. I ain't gonna lie, I've done it. But it's like I said, very few and far between. So, but so many things I'm working on changing around here, working on new ideas, trying to figure the long perspective versus, what sounds good at the time. I'm looking at long term versus, just, at the moment of now. Because at the moment of now, everything looks great. But after you look at long term form, what you got maintenance wise, what you got to do, what you got to take care of, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at long term versus in the now and short term in the future. And a lot of the things I had decided on, I've kind of critiqued a little more. But it is what it is. I'm gonna take it to the best of my ability. I'm gonna make the best of my ability. Once I get my cast off, I'm able to walk around more, go outside without having to worry about getting my foot wet. There's gonna be a lot of change things I'm gonna be taking place with. Now, this is the side of my house here, and here's my brick walkway. I was gonna want to cover all that up, but Adam added a new crawl space on this side of the house. Now, I can't put a porch the way I want it because a crawl space is in the way. And even if I built around the crawl space, it would somewhat look retarded. Not saying that I won't do that, but it would somewhat look retarded. And I thought about, this is my brick walkway here, building on the side of the walkway, going out, building my patio that way, which I really don't want to do. But if push comes to shove, I will. But I really don't want to do it that way. First things first, we got to tear off the back porch and get all that section lined out, how we're going to build it. I got a few ideas I'm looking at. Once the back porch has been torn off and we start reframing the bottom part of it, built the building, the room form, decking, or whatever you want to call it. Once we get that part initiated, then I'll decide either A, we can pick up all the bricks on this side of the house and just build around the cubbyhole form of the crawl space. But that's not here yet, so that's not even an equation of the factor. So I'm not even putting that in mind yet. The only thing that is going to be in mind is my front porch. I'm going to have two side pieces coming off like a T-shape. I'm going to put those on first. Before we tear off the back porch, the front porch pieces are going to go on first. After we do that, then we're going to work on tearing off the back porch, getting all that shit removed, and redoing the layout, design, everything. Everything's going to be done to the, well, not the best of the ability, but everything's going to be done as close to right as possible. and then we're going to figure out what style foundation form I'm going to put, whether it's going to be a block foundation and have the studs come off the block foundation, or use the concrete, I call them concrete pyramids, like the building blocks for decking, or what you use for a lot of your shed forms, and just lay the wood through the cross grooves and build around that and do it that way, and then build onto the side of the house. I'm not for sure yet, but that's not here yet either, so that's out of mind. So I'm not even going to worry about that. The first thing I am going to worry about is putting the two side porches on the front of my porch where they go off either direction, and then start leveling the ground out of the area as much as possible, because my in-laws have talked about giving me their old swimming pool, which is a fixed above ground pool, which means I would never have to take it down. It stays up year round. Put a cover across the top of it, and that's right there is my two main goals as of right now. And then once I get adjusted with, what they do say, hey, we're gonna get rid of the pool. You can we'll tear it apart. You come up with tear it apart. We'll come and get it. I'll get a hold of Lucas's dad. Has a great big ass trailer, and I'll rent him for the day if possible or whatever, and we'll go there, pick up the pool, and bring it back here after everything's leveled and set up. And we'll set the pool back up and get everything. I'll have my in-laws help me with that as well, because they've done it somewhat. They know more what they're doing than I do, and we'll have a day of it. And if I have to buy dinner or cook dinner for everybody, I'll do it. It won't bother me a bit. But there's so many plans I have going in my head right now. I'm changing things. I'm working, critiquing things, getting things ready for fall, spring, for the farmers market, for spring and summer for me, for gardening wise, summertime constructions for the house. We got to tear out the bathroom and my bedroom, or tear out the tub, replace the tub, the side moldings around it. I would, and this is crazy, if I could find me a blue, even this color green right here on my walls, like a blue or green or even a pink tub from like the 1960s, oh man, I would love it. People are anymore, they have a tub like that, they want to rip it out, put some new bangle dangle tub in there. I would love to have a bathtub, even a toilet, a colored toilet, like a bathtub, matching piece in a bathroom, like they had in the 60s. Had which my grandma was green, about the color of this wall behind me. I loved it. And then she had she had green and white tile checkered on the floor around the tub. I loved it. My mom didn't like it. After my grandmother died, my grandparents died, my mom went in and tore the bathroom out and redid it and replaced everything. It looks like an everyday bathroom now. It's kind of, whatever, it's a bathroom. Beforehand, it was green and white. It was perfect. I loved it. But it is what it is. Now, I don't want a super long video, so I'm going to end this thing right now. And y'all take care, and I will see you again sometime by next weekend. Count it. Hopefully it ain't too long.